All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Heartland Championship Wrestling. My name is Dave Little, and we are coming to you live from the Dave Cave with action from the Atlantic Wrestling Federation. We are here live in Charlotte, North Carolina, with three big matches, including a main event that will be the best 2 out of 3 falls for the Atlantic Heavyweight Championship. These two men have been battling it out for this title over several months now, and it now comes down to one final confrontation as the champion, Nick Aldis, holds that belt proudly and tries for the final time to fend off the challenge of Roddy Piper. Before we get started, a few things to catch up with around the Heartland. If you were here on New Year's Day, you got to see a very exciting 2024 Buckeye Bowl. The first time I have ever put the Buckeye Bowl on the channel, using some new rules and some new configurations thanks to the ingenious game preparation of St. Patrick and the Squared Circle Wrestling game. We adapted the rules of the Squared Circle for our annual Buckeye Bowl, aka the Royal Rumble, and had a great time doing that on Monday. That did put me a little behind schedule, so we have, and I worked most of the afternoon on getting that write-up completed, because that is a pretty extensive write-up, and as a result, we haven't done any of today's dark matches yet. So we are going to jump right into the televised portion of this card, culminating in the main event 2 out of 3 falls championship showdown between Nick Aldis and Roddy Piper here in Charlotte. But coming up first, we will have tag team action here in Charlotte. The following contest is tonight's opening televised match. It is tag team action scheduled for 1 fall with a 45-minute time limit. Disqualification rules will be in effect. Introducing first, team number 1. Out of Kansas City, Missouri, he stands at 6'1" and weighs 248 pounds. This is the Cowboy, Bob Orton Jr. And his tag team partner hails from nearby Blacksburg, Virginia. Standing at 6'1", weighing 252 pounds, this is Bob Roop. Bob Roop and Cowboy Bob Orton joining forces for this matchup tonight, as they have become a pretty good tag team working together over the last few months here in the Atlantic territory. But their opponents are a legendary tag team, coming to the ring at a total combined weight of 462 pounds. First, out of Toronto, Ontario, Canada, this is Billy Red Lyons. And his tag team partner from Minneapolis, Minnesota, this is the one and only Red Bastien, collectively known as the Flying Redheads. So the Flying Redheads set to take on the team of Cowboy Bob Orton and Bob Roop. As we get things set up here, this is a AWF Tag Team Championship qualifying match. The winner of this match will move on to a number 1 contenders match and a potential title shot. So there is some significance to this match. The team of Bob Roop and Bob Orton has only been around for a few months, and it's interesting how that team came about. Bob Roop was in attendance at the Waterloo induction ceremony for the Tragos Thez Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame this past July. And when I went to meet Mr. Roop and get his autograph, I asked him who his favorite tag team partner was during his wrestling career. And his first response was that he considered himself to be primarily a singles wrestler, but of all of the tag team partners that he worked with sporadically over the years, his favorite was Bob Orton Jr. And by virtue of that statement by Bob Roop, he is now teaming with Cowboy Bob Orton Jr., and they have seen some success. And they have worked their way up to potentially get in line for a title shot at the Atlantic Tag Team Championship. And with that, we are ready to get things started. It will be Bob Orton Jr. starting things off against Billy Red Lions here in tonight's opening matchup in Charlotte. And the opening initiative role is won by Bob Orton Jr. And it is Orton who comes in with a reverse headlock. Billy Red trying to get over and make a tag, cannot do so. Orton maintains the offensive and takes Billy Red down to the canvas with a head scissor. Orton now on top, establishing his dominance on the mat. Billy Red still cannot get over and make a tag. And now it is Orton with a release double underhook suplex. Bam! Down to the mat hard goes Billy Red Lions, and he is stunned. Orton now going to make the tag to Bob Roop. And we are going to see a double team action here. But on a roll of 11, that's no good. As Roop and Orton toss the opponent into the ropes for a double clothesline. But instead, Billy Red Lions ducks under the double clothesline and comes back and takes down both Roop and Orton with a running double clothesline. That will put Lions now in control against Bob Roop, the legal man in the ring. What's Billy Red going to be able to do? Roop tries to get out of the ring. Billy Red Lions will not allow that to happen, and instead it is a big atomic drop performed by Billy Red Lions on Roop. Lions is going for the cover. The pin roll here is 3 or lower, and on a roll of 6, Roop is able to kick out. Billy Red Lions in control. And now he is going to pitch Bob Roop out of the ring and down to the arena floor. And it is Billy Red Lions coming out of the ring to take on Bob Roop, and it is Billy Red Lions with a backdrop onto the announcer's table. Bob Roop is hurt. We may see a count out here on a roll of 4 or lower. But on a roll of 9, Bob Roop is able to make it back into the center of the ring, and the match will continue. Here comes Red Bastien, and now it is going to be a double teaming opportunity for the Flying Redheads. And again, on a roll of 11, the double team attempt misfires. As Billy Red Lions holds Bob Roop, but Bob Roop ducks away from that before Bastien can hit a clothesline. And Bastien knocks his partner down, and Roop is now going to be able to take control against Billy Red Lions. After that mishap, here is a reverse hammerlock applied by Bob Roop. Bob Roop in control. Billy Red is able to get over to make the tag. Bob Roop will also make the tag. And now as they come together in the center of the ring, it is Bob Roop who takes control, and Bob Roop with a reverse headlock on Red Bastien. We saw that same maneuver the first time around, and Roop continues to work that reverse headlock and now takes Bastien down to one knee. Fine wrestling technician is Bob Orton Jr. And now a dropkick by Orton. Stuns Red Bastien. And Orton follows that up with a face slam to the mat. Wow, he just took out some aggression on Bastien there. Both men get to their feet. And as they come together again, it is Bastien attempting to climb the ropes and perform some sort of headlock takeover. But Bob Orton Jr. puts an end to that and instead smashes him right between the kidneys with a big knee that stuns Red Bastien. And now it is Bob Orton with a whip to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes Red Bastien. He grabs the arm of Orton and sends Orton into the opposite turnbuckle. And on a roll of 11, it is Bob Orton Jr. bouncing forward off the turnbuckle and into an incredible neck-breaking clothesline delivered by Red Bastien. The Redheads now in control. Red Bastien is going to roll Orton over into the Boston Crab. Orton showing some pain on his face, trying to work his way over to the bottom rope to force the hold to be broken, and he finally does make that long and agonizing crawl over to the bottom rope, and the referee calls for the break. Bastien first to his feet. Here's another whip to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes Bob Orton Jr., and on a roll of 7, it is a big kick from Red Bastien that stuns Bob Orton. Bastien now works his way into an abdominal stretch. And Orton again trying to get the best of that. I am being told that my volume is a little bit low. Try moving the microphone a little closer to my face. Carlzilla, let me know how that does. And if that's not working, then I will adjust the volumes internally. So where did we leave off? We left off with Red Bastien in control against Cowboy Bob Orton. And now it is Bastien with a whip to the ropes. Off the ropes comes Cowboy Bob Orton. But oh, on a roll of 3, it is Red Bastien setting his head too soon. And Orton comes off with a big elbow smash to the side of the head, picks up Bastien and slams him to the mat with an awesome pile driver, Orton now in control over Bastien. And Orton is going to pitch Bastien out of the ring and down to the arena floor. Out we go again to the arena floor. And on a roll of 6, that is the best man wins roll. These men are both B-rated on the arena floor, so it will be Orton ramming the back of Bastien into the ring apron and stunning Bastien. Bastien hurting now as he makes his way back into the ring where Bob Orton Jr. is ready to do some damage. And it looks like Orton is thinking about going up for a death jump. Death jump maneuver coming up by Orton. I don't know if that's a good move against a man with the agility of Red Bastien, but on a roll of 8, Orton comes flying off of the top turnbuckle with a clothesline and nails Red Bastien, knocking him down to the mat once again. Orton now back in control. Tag made to Bob Roop. We're going to see a double team here. And this time it will be a successful one as Roop and Orton combine to take Bastien into the air and down to the canvas with an awesome double neck breaker. Bastien is down. Roop is in control. And Roop with a gut-wrench backbreaker. Taking Bastien down to the mat once again. Bastien rolls out of the ring and down to the arena floor a second time. But on a roll of 9, Bob Roop is just going to wait it out. And wait for Red Bastien to make that helpless crawl back into the ring where Roop is awaiting him with bad intentions. And bad intentions indeed, as here comes a big clothesline by Bob Roop that nails Red Bastien and puts him down. And now it is going to be Bob Roop headed up to the second turnbuckle for a death jump. And this time that was a bad idea. As Roop tried to get up to the turnbuckle, it was Red Bastien getting to his feet and grabbing Roop and throwing him down to the canvas. Red Bastien now in control. And it is Bastien who is going up for the death jump. And this time on a roll of 8, it is a missile dropkick by Red Bastien that nails Bob Roop and sends him tumbling down to the canvas hard. Bastien now in control. Bastien going up for yet another death jump. And this time on a roll of 7, he hits a flying lariat off the top turnbuckle. And it is Bob Roop who is down and in bad shape. Double team coming up, and it is a bone-crunching double clothesline delivered by the fabulous Redheads to keep Bob Roop down and out. As Roop is in trouble here, Billy Red Lions is going to pitch him out of the ring and back down to the arena floor. And on a roll of 7, it is a brawl on the arena floor won by the guy on offense. And it is Billy Red Lions who hits a dropkick on the arena floor that sends Roop tumbling over the steel security railing. That's going to leave a mark. Roop comes staggering back into the ring. Bob Orton, his partner, trying to provide some encouragement as Billy Red now has him in the figure 4 leg lock. This is a 0 rated finisher. So the pin roll will take place here on 5 or lower. And on a roll of 7, Roop is able to power his way out. and the match will continue, but Billy Red Lions is in control. And now he is going to pitch Roop out of the ring yet again. Somewhat surprising that the Redheads want to conduct so much of this match on the arena floor. And this time it is going to be a clean win of the brawl for Bob Roop on a roll of 5. Bob Roop rolls Billy Red Lions out of the ring. And Bob Roop is going to drop him throat first onto the steel security railing. So once again, the steel security railing coming into play. We may see a disqualification against Bob Roop here. But on a roll of 5, that's 1. And on a roll of 5 again, that is a disqualification. Bob Roop disqualified for dropping Billy Red Lions onto the steel security railing throat first. So it is Roop who is DQ'd. And the Flying Redheads will be given the decision here in this contest. Let's check out our disqualification chart to see if there will be any nonsense happening as a result of the disqualification. And let me see if I can just throw that disqualification chart up onto the screen. I think that one should do it. Yes, we go to the disqualification table, newly constructed by me as of November the 15th of 2023. The roll is 2d6, and on a roll of 3, we have post-match brawling, and we go to the post-match brawl chart, which is simply gut check rolls all around for all 4 men, and we'll see who wins the brawl. As Roop drops Billy Red Lions onto the turnbuckle, we are going to give Billy Red a point of damage for that. Bastine with a 4, D12 minus the cage rating. Billy Red Lions with oh goodness, a 2. -2, -3, so the Redheads total a 1 on their collective gut check rolls. Bob Roop with a 3 -3, he's a -4. And Bob Orton with an 8 -4. A no real advantage here for either team. A slight advantage for the Redheads, but with all 4, with both teams ending up in the negative, it's certainly not going to be a major beatdown of any sort. So we'll say Roop tried to continue the fight after the decision, but the Redheads were able to prevail in the post-match brawl, and the match ends with the Flying Redheads standing tall in the ring and moving on to a number 1 contenders match for the Atlantic Tag Team Championship. All right, and with that, we will come back to our desktop camera and back to action here in Charlotte. All right, we have a few folks in the chat room. I don't know if I greeted folks at the beginning of the show. Carl Zilla, welcome. Neil Lau, Derek Bauman, and now Salvador America is in the ring. Neil Lau says, I rolled twice. Yeah, I roll all my disqualifications twice. That's just a house rule here in the Dave Cave. The DQ roll was 5 or lower, and Bob Roop rolled 5 on both of his DQ rolls, leading to the disqualification. All right, quick drink of water here. I am finally getting to the tail end of this cough, but it is still lingering just a little bit. So you will hear me going to the water once in a while. As we head to our next contest, and this is a grudge match dating back to an event that took place earlier, actually last month, in a tag team match. It was the team of Mr. Fuji and Mr. SAITO losing by disqualification to Tom Zank and Flying Brian Pillman. But in that post-match brawl, it was SAITO who injured Tom Zank, and Tom Zank has been on the shelf and will continue to be on the shelf for several more weeks, leading to the challenge and this grudge match here tonight in Charlotte. Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for one fall to a finish. It is a no disqualification grudge match. Introducing first, at 262 pounds, standing at 5'11" from Tokyo, Japan, this is Mr. SAITO. And his opponent comes to you from Hollywood, California. He stands at 6 foot tall, weighs 226 pounds. This is Flying Brian Pillman. So it's Brian Pillman against Mr. SAITO here in this grudge match. Grudge match dice will be in effect. As Carl Zilla is reporting in that he is also experiencing a prolonged cough. For me, it will be 4 weeks this coming Monday, but the rest of my symptoms are better. So yeah, this is the Brian Pillman card from the WH Lineup Special Edition card set, Legends Fall 2021. This was the card that was created for him to team with Stunning Steve Austin as part of the Fabulous Blondes. So the inclination of this card is towards some of the heel moves in Pillman's career. And I would love to see a Pillman babyface card one of these days. And of course, a Pillman loose cannon card would also be fun. But for purposes of this match, it will be Flying Brian Pillman in the role of babyface against the very dangerous Mr. SAITO. And as they come together in the center of the ring, it is doubles, and doubles means shenanigans. And in a grudge match, we are going to the Play.com Face to the Mat Highlight Center booklet. And on the roll of fours, what I do with this, if it's 1 to 3, I go to the baby face. If it's 4 to 6, I go to the heel. So it will be Mr. SAITO going to the shenanigans book here in this grudge match, and we'll use the hardcore matches chart. And the roll is 1-5. Is Mr. SAITO a favorite? The answer is no. And as a result, it is fatigue. Pillman has run circles around SAITO, and SAITO is going to pick up an extra point of fatigue here as this match begins, because Pillman, the quicker of the two men, was able to force SAITO to come to him and take control of the pace of the match in the early going. So Flying Brian Pillman is in control, and he is going to go for a body slam, which is a choice F maneuver. Choice F. Obviously against Mr. SAITO, the better choice is the agility roll, which will be a roll of 7 or lower for a level 2 offensive move, and he hits the leg drop. So Pillman hits the leg drop on the fatigued Mr. SAITO. And, SAITO gets right up and comes back with a level 2 reversal. And it is SAITO who is going to roll up to level 1 and take down Pillman with a double leg takedown. SAITO, a very accomplished technical grappler. Can he press the advantage? He is again going to not go to the whip to the ropes. Instead, he's going to go whip to the turnbuckle. And off the turnbuckle comes Brian Pillman. But on a roll of 2, it is SAITO who misses a running clothesline. Crashes into the turnbuckle. Here's Pillman with a roll-up. The pin roll is 4. And on a roll of snake eyes, he got him. Just like that, Flying Brian Pillman has pinned Mr. SAITO after a missed crash to the turnbuckle. So Pillman played that grudge match to perfection. He wore out Mr. SAITO with his stick and move offensive attack. SAITO got frustrated, charged to the turnbuckle and missed, and Pillman rolled him up for the pin. But with a feud match ending on a roll of doubles, that means we do go to the Filsinger Games feud table to see what happens, as we are joined at ringside by Mike, the sports simulation spectator. I don't know if I could say that 3 times fast, but welcome, Mike, to this afternoon's broadcast. as Brian Pillman and Mr. SAITO are going to the feud table. This table is used when a feud match ends on a roll of doubles. You have just won the match by pin or submission. So this is Brian Pillman rolling on the feud table. Roll 2 dice to see what happens. The roll is 9. You are attacked from behind by an ally of the opponent. All of a sudden, an ally of yours rushes to the ring and a wild brawl involving all 4 men erupts. It takes the entire security force to break it up. When the smoke clears, the commissioner books the 4 wrestlers in a tag team super match for later in the show or the next card. It is up to you. All right, well, Pillman has a tag team partner. It is Tom Zank, so we'll say that the injured Tom Zank came to ringside to protect his partner, and Zank will wrestle injured in a tag team grudge match in a future show here in the Atlantic Wrestling Federation. So there will be a tag rematch pitting Pillman and Zank once again against Fuji and SAITO as the feud continues. And Tom Zank putting his well-being at risk by coming out injured to defend his partner. But that's what good partners will do. All right, and that brings us to our main event of the evening. As I mentioned, I am behind schedule. Just finished typing up last week's Buckeye Bowl. So I only have time to do 3 matches, but this is the best 2 out of 3 falls. So we do have some good wrestling entertainment coming up, as the championship dice will be in effect for this one. And here is Mark Ferguson coming to the ring just in time for tonight's main event. And this is your main event of the evening. The following contest is scheduled for the best 2 out of 3 falls. And this is a championship match, so disqualification rules will be in effect. This match is for the Atlantic Heavyweight Championship. Introducing first the challenger. Out of Glasgow, Scotland. He stands at 6'2", weighs in at 232 pounds. This is Roddy Piper. And his opponent is your reigning and defending Atlantic Heavyweight Champion. Standing at 6'4", weighing 242 pounds, out of King's Lynn, England. He is the national treasure. This is Nick Aldis. All right, so Nick Aldis set to take on Roddy Piper. 2 out of 3 falls for the Atlantic Heavyweight Championship. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Nick Aldis, one of my all-time... I love Roddy Piper. Nick Aldis, one of my all-time favorites. He is a great wrestler. He's got a great look. He has got a great presence in and around the ring. He does great promos in his very understated but intelligent and very dignified fashion, does Nick Aldis. So love to watch Nick Aldis. Great to see him on SmackDown. I'd love to see him get back into the ring in the WWE as well. So here we go. Best 2 out of 3 falls for the title. And the opening initiative roll again is tied. And based on that, we do go to the Highlight Center booklet once again. Roddy Piper doing something unpredictable to start this match. The roll is 1-3. Is Piper agile? He is the more agile of the 2 men. So he is able to get his opponent into a Boston Crab off of the opening initiative roll. As Piper launched a sneak attack on Aldis, took him down and rolled him quickly over into the Boston Crab. And that is going to put Piper on level 3 offense to start this match. And Piper with a big back suplex, taking Aldis down to the ring once again. Aldis down, Piper in control. Can he steal the first fall? Here is a swinging neckbreaker. Aldis slow to get to his feet. The bagpipes are blaring, says Mark Ferguson. And even before the Bagpipes stop their blaring. Roddy Piper is on the attack. Here's a whip to the ropes. Off the ropes comes Aldis, and on a roll of 6, that is the drop down. Aldis comes off the other way, and this time on a roll of 12, it is Piper who stuns Nick Aldis with a big knee lift. Off the top rope, caught him right up under the chin. Aldis is down. Piper once again in control. And Piper with another back suplex, putting Aldis down on the canvas. Here in the first fall, it is Roddy Piper in control and on the attack. Another whip to the ropes. Aldis coming off to the ropes, and this time it is the power roll. And the power roll favors Nick Aldis. Aldis the stronger of the two men. And as they collide in mid-ring, it is Aldis who got the better of that collision. And for the first time, we're going to see Nick Aldis go on offense. And he is going to take Roddy Piper up for a superplex and down to the canvas hard. Great poise shown by Nick Aldis there. He was under the sneak attack from the beginning, but he didn't bat an eye. He saw his opportunity and turned the tide. He now is in control with a diving elbow drop, and Roddy Piper is going to roll out of the ring and down to the arena floor. Out to the arena floor we go. Both these men A-rated brawlers, and on a roll of 9, it is Aldis who is going to wait it out very smartly, getting back into the ring and waiting for Roddy Piper to return to the ring ahead of the 10 count. Aldis doesn't want to get sucked into a brawl with a brawler like Piper this early in the contest. And as he comes back into the ring, as he attempts to come back into the ring, it is Aldis with a big knee smash that knocks Piper off the apron and down to the arena floor. And this time it is Aldis who will win the battle on the arena floor with a throat drop onto the security railing. Boy, we saw a disqualification because of that earlier in the night. But this referee is going to let him fight as Piper crawls back into the ring. And again, Aldis knocks him off the turnbuckle, off of the apron. And Aldis in command in the ring, not letting Roddy Piper get any sense of traction whatsoever. As Piper tries to climb back into the ring where Aldis is waiting. And this time, Aldis catches him coming through the ropes and dumps him with a Mag Daddy driver hard down onto the mat. That is going to cost Roddy Piper a point of fatigue. And Nick Aldis now is in control. Aldis goes with a knee to the back. Piper returns fire. And Piper just goes right to the eyes. Roddy Piper with a poke to the eyes of Nick Aldis puts him back in control. And Piper again with a poke to the eyes. The referee is admonishing Piper, but he just brushes past the referee, and now it is Piper with a whip to the ropes. Off the ropes comes Nick Aldis, and on a roll of 7, it is a running back elbow from Piper that puts Aldis down onto the canvas. And now Piper biting the forehead. Piper just bending the rules at every opportunity, bending Nick Aldis at every opportunity. And now a big knee lift by Nick Aldis sends Aldis tumbling through the ropes and down to the arena floor. Out to the floor we go once again, and on a roll of 8, this time it is Piper who wins the brawl on the arena floor and slams the head of Nick Aldis into the ring apron. So Piper now taking control with his out-of-the-ring brawling tactics, and now Piper goes to the sleeper. Sleeper hold applied by Roddy Piper. This is a submission move. The submission hold is 4 or lower. And on a roll of 5, Aldis barely gets over to the ropes to force the hold to be broken. And Piper now in control with another back suplex. And Aldis again rolling out under the bottom rope and out of the ring. And this time on a roll of A6, it is Aldis who wins the brawl on the arena floor with a cannonball off the ring apron. And now Aldis slams the head of Piper onto the security railing. We may see a disqualification here ruled against Aldis. We will not. Aldis now in control as action returns to the ring. And Aldis is going to go for a single leg takedown on a choice F. Choice F maneuver. This is a power move. He'll need 7 or lower to hit it. And on a roll of 8, it is Piper who is able to avoid the takedown. And it is Piper who fires back with another whip to the ropes. Off the ropes comes Nick Aldis. And on a roll of 5, this time it is Aldis with a running shoulder tackle that stuns Roddy Piper. Back and forth we go. These two men have been in countless battles, and they know each other very well. Here is Aldis with a whip to the turnbuckle. Piper into the turnbuckle, but as Piper bounces into the turnbuckle, he catches Aldis coming off with a skull-splitting running lariat, and it is Aldis who goes down hard. Aldis now stunned. Piper in control. Piper with another gouge of the eyes. Aldis very unhappy about that. Aldis tries a double axe handle blow, but Piper dodges that. And Piper with another poke to the eyes. My goodness, Piper is all up into the eyes of Nick Aldis. And the referee is not at all happy about that. Here's Piper trying to bite the forehead of Aldis. But Aldis comes back this time. And Aldis dumps Piper with a belly-to-belly suplex, taking Piper down to the canvas. Aldis back in control and now hits that diving elbow drop, and out of the ring we go once again. Piper out to the arena floor. He grabs Aldis by the leg and slams him headfirst onto the ring steps. Roddy Piper winning that brawl. And now it is Piper going to the figure 4 leg lock, trying to slow the champion down. Piper follows that up as Aldis gets to the bottom rope. Piper again bites him on the forehead and follows that with a double forearm clap across the ears. Boy, Piper pulling out every kind of nasty trick you can imagine. And now here's a big clothesline by Roddy Piper. Aldis will not go down. He is getting very irritated at these dirty tactics of Roddy Piper. As Piper now comes in and attempts the atomic drop. That is a choice D maneuver. Choice D. He will need 8 or lower to hit this at level 3. And on a roll of 7, he got him with the atomic drop. And Piper now going for the cover. The pin roll here is 3 or lower. And on a roll of 11, Nick Aldis is able to kick out. Piper now in control after that flurry, and Piper now with another back suplex, taking Aldis back down to the canvas. Piper follows that up with yet another bite to the forehead. Is there any show of disdain that Piper is unwilling to execute? I think the answer is no. Here's a whip to the ropes. Off the ropes comes Aldis, and this time Aldis again gets the better of that one with a running shoulder tackle. Aldis tries to follow that up with a big superplex. A big superplex here. Piper's got a hurt mechanic that he will not use quite yet, but we may come back to that later. As Piper is stunned, and Aldis now takes him up, over, and down with a German suplex down to the canvas. Aldis trying to slow the pace of this match down. Another big superplex. And Piper again is hurt. Aldis with another German suplex, trying to wear down some of the annex. And now a delayed vertical suplex. High in the air and down. Hard to the canvas goes Roddy Piper. Aldis in control. Another big superplex. Piper goes down, but he will not stay down. And now it is Aldis with a whip to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes Roddy Piper. And on a roll of 10, that is the double specialty move. The wrestler with the better turnbuckle rating recovers first. In this case, it is Aldis who takes over on level 3 offense. And it is Aldis again hitting the Mag Daddy driver. That's an add 1 move. Now he's going to go for the cover. The pin roll here is 4 or lower. And on a roll of 11, Piper kicks out. Double damage for Aldis with a critical hit on that move. And now it is Aldis again, sending Piper out of the ring. Actually, preventing Piper from going out of the ring. And Aldis instead will go to the bow and arrow. A very painful submission move. And Piper this time will make his own way out of the ring. But on a roll of 10, what happens here on the roll of 10? The opponent comes out of the ring and tries to hit you with an object like a steel chair. Nick Aldis on the attack with a baseball bat. Nick Aldis found a baseball bat under the ring and came after Roddy Piper with it. Will we see a disqualification roll here? We will not. As again, the referee allows the match to continue. And as they come back into the ring, it is now Aldis wrapping up Piper into the King's Lynn Cloverleaf. That is a +2 submission hold. The submission roll here is 7 or lower. And on a roll of 4, he got him. So Nick Aldis takes the first fall by submission with the Cloverleaf. And it had to be the shot from the ball bat that weakened the lower back of Roddy Piper and made him fall prey to that King's Lynn Cloverleaf. Nick Aldis, the winner of your first fall. All right, I'm going to take a short break here for just a moment and try and get my sinuses back under control. So I am going to go on silent for a minute because you don't want to hear what's about to happen between me and my sinuses. And we're back. We're ready for the second fall here in this best of 3 fall showdown between Nick Aldis and Roddy Piper. Let's catch up on the what happened in the chat during the first fall. Let's see some questions about the card of Nick Aldis. This was produced by WH Lineup as part of a National Wrestling Alliance. Card is an unofficial bootleg created by WH Lineup, a.k.a. Will Harrison, wonderful guy, at Galacticon 19. And this card was indeed released alongside Tim Storm. And at the time, Aldis and Tim Storm were going back and forth for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. So that is the background on the Nick Aldis card. Love Nick Aldis. Yeah, Tim Storm, there you go. Neil Lau does not have access to that card. Skinner and Stone Cold, yeah, that arrived just yesterday. That was pretty awesome. And some talk about a Brian Pillman Jr. card. Brian Pillman may or may not have an indie card out there. I've not seen him out there, but that doesn't mean he doesn't have a card. But anyhow, we're caught up on the chat. Yeah, if there is a Brian Pillman Jr. card, I'd be interested. He's new to his career, showing some promise. Certainly has a good look, and boy, does he look like his father. You can see his father's genetics in young Brian Jr. now wrestling in NXT as something or other, Angus King or something like that. I don't watch enough NXT to know for sure. But we are ready for the second fall, as Nick Aldis has won the first fall by submission. And we reset the Legends of Wrestling Shenanigans cards here. And it is Nick Aldis and Roddy Piper starting things off in the second fall. And it is Nick Aldis who takes the initiative as they come together again. And Aldis grabs a headlock, trying to keep things at a slow pace, but Piper immediately with a reversal and just bulldogs Nick Aldis down to the canvas. Nice counter there by Roddy Piper. Piper with another bulldog, and Aldis goes down and stays down. I don't think Aldis saw that coming. And now Piper goes right back to the sleeper. Piper trying for a quick win here in the second fall. The submission roll here, 5 or lower. And on a roll of 8, Aldis able to escape. But Piper goes right back to the sleeper hold. The submission roll now is a 6 or lower. And on a roll of 5, Aldis is forced to tap out. So just like that, Roddy Piper wins the second fall with a sleeper hold, and we will go to a third and deciding fall. As Nick Aldis and Roddy Piper and their ongoing rivalry all comes down to this, the third and final decisive fall in this matchup. After a short break, they come back together in the ring, and this time it is Roddy Piper who takes the initiative, with Carl Zilla at his voicing his support as Piper grabs a headlock and delivers a punch to the side of the head of Aldis. Piper follows that up with another punch, and Aldis struggling to get free, still a little woozy from being put to sleep by Piper. And now Piper is going for that atomic drop on the choice D. This is 8 or lower, and on a roll of 8 he hits the atomic drop, and Nick Aldis rolls down and rolls out of the ring. Back to the arena floor we go again with all the chips on the line. And on a roll of 7, it is Roddy Piper winning the brawl on the arena floor with a stomach drop across the security railing. Piper now back in control. And Piper going to the figure 4 leg lock as Aldis comes back into the ring. Aldis able to withstand that and trying to roll Piper over, forcing the hold to be broken. Piper still in control, and Piper now with a whip to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes Nick Aldis, and on a roll of 4, it is Aldis who gets out of the way of a running shoulder dive by Roddy Piper, and Piper hits the turnbuckle and goes down to the, hits the ring post, and tumbles out of the ring. Down to the arena floor we go once again, and Aldis is just going to wait him out this time. Aldis still trying to clear his head from having been submitted in the previous fall, as Roddy Piper returns to the ring, and Aldis again knocks him down off of the ring apron and down to the arena floor. And this time it is Piper who pulls Aldis out of the ring. And on a roll of A5, that is both wrestlers' roll disqualification. Aldis will not be disqualified. Piper may be disqualified. Please, I hope not. And oh goodness, on the last chance, Piper will not be disqualified. I would have hated to have seen that that go to a disqualification finish. Now we go to the odd even roll. Piper gets the even roll here, and on a roll of 6, it is Piper who wins the brawl on the arena floor and Irish whips Nick Aldis into the steel ring steps. Kathy Evans joins us here, as Piper now going for the figure 4 once again, and Aldis once again leaving the ring. I think Aldis is trying to bait Piper into doing something to get himself disqualified here. Aldis smart enough to do that, and desperate enough, as Piper seems to have gained the advantage here. And on a roll of 6, it is Aldis who wins the brawl on the arena floor with a diving clothesline off of the ring apron. And Aldis now is going to go at Piper with a foreign object. A pair of knitting needles. Oh my goodness, the knitting needles. Where's JT 2.0 when you need him? Nick Aldis going after Roddy Piper with some knitting needles. We may see a disqualification here. We will not, as Aldis successfully concealed that move. But Aldis back in control here as we go back to the ring. And it is Aldis now with a knee smash to the back. And Piper is going to return fire. And Piper is going to go with a Tried for the whip to the turnbuckle. Aldis blocked it. So Piper grabs him into a headlock and punches him in the side of the head. Aldis fires back with a big vertical suplex. Up, over, and down to the canvas hard goes Roddy Piper. Aldis now in control after that exchange, and Aldis now with a diving elbow drop onto Roddy Piper. Piper getting to his feet. Aldis tries another knee to the back. That's an agility move. Piper has the agility advantage, so it is Piper who is going to instead return fire with a double forearm clap across the ears of Nick Aldis. Piper always looking for opportunities to bend the rules, and on that opportunity he found it. What's Piper going to do now? He is going to go with a flurry of punches, backing Aldis into the corner, wailing away at the midsection, and now an eye gouge by Roddy Piper. Piper turning up the dirty tactics once again. Piper now with a bite to the forehead. Aldis shoves him away. Piper comes back with another headlock and another punch. Aldis returns fire with a wrist lock, finally getting his way, working out of the headlock and spinning underneath and grabbing Roddy Piper in a wrist lock, trying to slow down the dirty tactics of this challenger. And now Aldis pulls him into a headlock. Headlock applied by Nick Aldis. And Roddy Piper reverses that into a headlock of his own and another punch to the side of the head. Aldis starting to show some effects of these punches, as Piper punches him again in the side of the head and hangs on to that headlock. And now the double forearm clap once again. Aldis still a little disoriented as Piper continues on the attack and nails Aldis with a big running clothesline that finally takes Aldis down to the canvas. Piper now goes back to work on the forehead. Bite to the forehead. And Aldis, not liking that, tries to retaliate, but Piper grabs him by the hair and throws him down to the mat. And now Piper with a big knee lift, as Aldis was trying to get to his feet, stunning Nick Aldis. Piper back in control, another big knee lift. Aldis unable to get his bearings as Piper comes in with a whip to the ropes. Off the ropes comes Nick Aldis. And on a roll of 7, it is a running back elbow from Roddy Piper that enables him to keep control. And now Piper with a big bulldog, taking Aldis back down to the canvas yet again. Aldis and Piper going back and forth. Piper controlling most of the action here. Hasn't managed to do enough damage to lead to a near fall yet, as Piper now tries to slam the head of Aldis to the mat. That's a power move. Aldis powers his way out of that. And it is Aldis who rolls Piper over into a bow and arrow submission style maneuver. And now it is Piper grabbing for that bottom rope, and Piper who will pull himself underneath the bottom rope and out of the ring. But on a roll of 8, Aldis is just going to wait him out once again. Aldis very wary of getting engaged in any of these brawls with Roddy Piper, a very dangerous brawler on the arena floor, as we say hello to Kathy Evans and we say hello to the one and only Dave Gardner. And it is Aldis now going up for the death jump. Death jump attempt by Nick Aldis coming up here. And on a roll of 9, it is a flying clothesline by Nick Aldis off the top rope that stuns Roddy Piper and puts him back down onto the mat. And now Aldis is going back to the cloverleaf. Back to that submission hold. The very same hold that Aldis was able to use to win the first fall. The submission roll now is 5 or lower. And on a roll of snake eyes, he got him. How about that? A thrilling match between Aldis and Piper finally ends with the cloverleaf, as Nick Aldis gets the victory in a very hard fought best 2 out of 3 falls action, as Nick Aldis is still your Atlantic heavyweight champion. And Roddy Piper is just going to roll out of the ring and slam his hands on the ring apron in frustration and not exchange any pleasantries with Nick Aldis. But Piper is leaving the ring and headed back to the AWF to see if he can reclimb the contenders ladder. As Nick Aldis tonight has won the championship showdown in 3 falls, winning both the first and third fall by way of submission with the King's Lynn Cloverleaf. The national treasure gets it done, says Salvador America. Excellent main event, says Carl Zilla. Thank you, everybody, for the kind words. Thank you for coming to check out today's Heartland Championship Wrestling action. Salvador America, Carl Zilla, Neil Lau, Mark Ferguson, Kathy Evans. Who else did we have? Derek Bauman was in the chat room earlier. Thank you, Derek, for coming by. We had Mike the Sports Simulation Spectator, Salvador America. And I believe that that is everybody. 2 out of 3 falls was always such a tease, says Dave Gardner. Indeed it was, but tonight it played itself out, and yeah, that really was a good match between Aldis and Piper. Very well matched cards. And Nick Aldis is your winner and remains Atlantic Heavyweight Champion. So from Charlotte, North Carolina, and the Dave Cave, this is Dave Little signing off. We'll be back on next Saturday with the pay-per-view broadcast featuring Ric Flair defending the NWA World Heavyweight Championship in a rematch against Bruno Sammartino in a tables match. Until then, that's our stream, and I am out of here.